Hey guys, what's going on? 30 books in 30 weeks. I'm having lighting issues again. Go figure. Who knew? So, welcome into Friday night excitement. Um, man, whew, I am like so full right now. I'm so full right now of like almost disbelief. So I'm going to share with you guys. I'm going to share something. Hey, Dr. Joelle. I'm going to share with you guys something that, we're doing 30 books in 30 weeks, and the message was really initially from the book, but I just witnessed something. I just watched something on television that I think needs to trump the message that I came to deliver, which is important. So I'll share that real briefly, but then I'm going to go on into a larger topic. So as you guys come in, welcome to 30 Books in 30 Weeks. Welcome to Life on Mars. For those of you, as you're coming in, feel free to share the video out because we're going to talk about, have a real conversation tonight about a real subject that I think a lot of people tend to struggle with. So as you guys come in, share the video out. If you're new, you don't really know who I am, you don't know what this is all about. 30 Books in 30 Weeks is a personal development journey that I am on with you all to share with you tidbits, takeaways, ahas, and superstar ideas that have been impactful on my healing journey, my recovery journey, my success journey. And so we're doing that from books from my personal development library and the personal development libraries of some of my mentors, to kind of just bring a little bit of what I share with my clients, my coaching clients, to you all, and let you guys kind of share in on the conversation, see what reality-based living is all about, find out what reality-based coaching is all about. So my name is Marcy Batiste. I'm a speaker, I'm an author, I'm a reality-based success and recovery trainer. I live life on Mars. I'm sold out to my happiness, and my favorite thing in the whole wide world is to help other women shine, help them to discover and embrace their star power. The object being getting in relation with reality so that you can cure the emotional bankruptcy, so you can get spiritually realigned. Hey Ed, hey Diana, what's going on, Sean? Get spiritually realigned and really deal with some of the mental, physical, and emotional exhaustion that so many people suffer from. So real quick, I'm going to give you today's reading from the book, and then we're going to segue into the larger topic, which is the biggest lies we tell are told in the mirror. And that's gonna be real, and it's gonna be real based on a situation, like I said, that I was just watching something on television. But so today's reading from the book, the meditation for the day said, living in the present. And this is why this is the universe. I'm telling you, the universe don't never let me down. The universe will never let me down. The universe gives me exactly what I need in the moment to bring the message that I'm supposed to bring without fail. So I watched this program. I'm like, ooh, but here's the message. So the meditation for today is, yesterday is a canceled check. Tomorrow is a promissory note. Today is cash in hand. Spend it wisely. And so I would change that. If it were me, I would change that to invest it wisely, because spending by itself is an exhausting behavior. So, but an investment is one in which you get a return. So that is my segue into the larger topic that, y'all know I can't see. Oh, and she wrote, hey Diane, I miss you, boo-boo. Okay, so that's the segue into right now is all we got, basically, right? So that's what the meditation was talking about. But I was just watching, and I watched some reality TV shows. One is sort of just, it's almost research, because it helps me understand and really realize like some of the things that women think. And so I watch a lot of the programs about female relationships, things like that. So the show that I was watching today was 90 Day Fiance. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the show or what. I saw it once or twice a long time ago. Didn't really get into it too much. and then recently kind of circle back. Hey Pam, what's going on, Mama? Hey Donald. Um, anyway, so I'm watching 90 Day Fiance, and the crux of the storyline is these individuals meet people from other countries, and those individuals want to come to the United States on a K-1 visa or a fiance visa. So what the fiance visa means is once you get into the United States, you have 90 days in which to get married, and then once you're married, they're issued a provisional or conditional green card that says then you have to remain married in a legitimate marriage for 2 years, blah, 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 blah. So we all kind of understand the whole immigration process, right? So the episode that I'm watching, this lady, and it's like my heart broke for her. My heart broke for her, and I would love to reach out to her and give her some coaching and give her some tools that she can use to recover. So the situation was that, so she meets this guy. He's from Tunisia. He's 26. She's 41 at the time. So 15-year difference in age. She's kind of overweight. She's kind of average, ordinary, plain looking. Glasses kind of cover up her eyes, and she's just real super average, ordinary, right? She's got 3 teenage daughters. She meets this 26-year-old Tunisian guy. He's good looking, a great smile. You know, he says all the right things. And so they fall in love. When I tell you about falling in love, don't fall in love. Stand straight up and choose a relationship. That's a whole other video, right? So they supposedly fall in love. I guess after a few weeks of their online communications, he ends up proposing. She goes to Tunisia once, and then from that point she pays for him to do all the processing to get his K-1 visa and all this stuff and come to the United States. So he comes to the United States. They meet up. He moves in. You know, gets ingrained into the family life. So that, you know, she got 3 teenage daughters. So now we've got this stepfather or whatever living in the house, and so the relationship goes awry real fast, like within 2 weeks, because she was not forthcoming about her financial situations and her financial struggles, and so the phone's getting cut off, the electricity got cut off, and his whole thing is, why would you bring me to this country and not have any resources? Why would you stand straight up, Pamela? That's right. Don't fall in love. Don't fall in love. Choose a relationship. Stand straight up. So anyway, so his thing is, you brought me to this country. I gave up my job. I gave up my family. I left my country. I came here believing everything that you had told me leading up to my arrival. And so now I find out, I get here, you're in this tiny apartment with these 3 kids in like a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment. And you have no resources, you have no money, and you lied about it. You were dishonest. And so his issue initially, he states, is her dishonesty is what's leaving kind of a bad taste in his mouth. And then he cited his Muslim religion for no kissing, no sex, no intimacy, any of that. So for all intents and purposes, they have a platonic relationship that is leading into this marriage, which that in and of itself is not a problem. It becomes a problem, however, when you say that you can't do it up until marriage, and then once marriage happens, you're still not engaging, right? Wouldn't even kiss her on their wedding day. He cited Ramadan and said that he couldn't kiss in public because of Ramadan. So, true, false, I don't know. I'm not, of the Muslim faith, so I don't know if that's true or not. Very well could be. But anyway, so long story short, the marriage goes south hella fast. As of the day of the wedding, though, he was in the attorney's office trying to figure out, like, do I have to go through with this? Can I get out of it? What else can I do? How can I stay in this country and not do this marriage thing? So they get married. Things progressively get worse. Within 2 weeks, he disappears, goes off by himself for a few days, Doesn't tell her where he's going, this, that, and the other thing. So fast forward a year or two, a year or so into the marriage, he's now completely moved out. And now they're talking about he's gone to Miami. He's with this other woman in Miami, still citing this woman as just friends, but she's this busty blonde and more his age and all this kind of stuff. So the lies we tell in the mirror, you guys, are some of the most damaging and painful lies. Like, no one will ever be able to lie to you as much as you can lie to yourself. And why does all of that fit into that particular message? Because there were points all along the way that I think the producers could see, all of her friends could see, even her teenage children could see. He's using you to get into the country. But she would continue to tell herself these lies that he loves me because he said he does. People can say a lot of things, and most of the time they'll not ever tell you what and who they really are, but they will always eventually show you. And it's up to you. Hey, Latrice, it's up to you to believe what you see and not what you hear. But what she was doing was, he would exhibit these behaviors, walking out on her, walking out on the kids, being with other women. She's got pictures, all this kind of stuff, plenty of proof. And she would continue to tell herself that this could be fixed. This can be fixed. She kept saying, let's just talk and let's just fix this. There's not that much talking in the world, boo-boo. There's not. Like, you have to, at some point, take off the freaking rose-colored glasses and be honest with yourself and stand in that mirror and look at the woman staring back at you and be like, you know what, Ma, you messed up. We're in a real bad spot right now. We're in a real bad spot, and the only way to get out of it is to be honest with ourselves about it. We gotta be honest. But instead, her choice was, like, she would do things like blocking the doors so he couldn't leave. She would lock him in a bedroom. Well, that's not going to make somebody want to stay with you. I'm sorry. With all my domestic abuse training and all of that kind of stuff, like, that's some psychotic behavior. I could see why, even let's just say he came with legitimate intents, I could see why that would make you not want to be with somebody. That's crazy behavior. So he ends up going to Miami, moving to Miami, and so she decides, I'm going to file for annulment. Well, if you get the annulment approved, basically he gets deported, was what the legal advice said. So he calls her up when he gets the annulment papers and was like, hey, I'm coming to Ohio, let's talk. So he gets to Ohio, they sit down and talk, conversation goes south ASAP. She feels used. He's like, you're crazy. You lied to me. She was like, but you used me. You just wanted to get into the country, blah, 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 blah. No, whatever. So then she goes home, has a conversation with herself in the mirror, and decides that all he wanted was pull the annulment and let's just file for a divorce. I don't want to be with you, but I don't want you to file for the annulment because the immigration is coming for me if you do that. So she has this conversation with herself in the mirror. She tells herself that because he said, let's just file for divorce, we'll still be friends, blah. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. But this is how I know that she lied to herself in the mirror, because she sat right there on camera and she said, I'm not going to tell anyone because they'll try and talk me out of it. I'm not going to tell anyone that I'm pulling the annulment and just going for the divorce because they all think that he just came here and that he never really loved me. She could not, for anything, get herself to admit he didn't love me. He never loved me. And I'm telling y'all, true transparency, 100 to 100, I've been there. I sat in a hotel room for 3 days one time, and I thought through every aspect of a relationship before I ended it. And the conclusion that I came to in that moment, in the front of that mirror, was he never really loved you to begin with. And it's a hard ass pill to swallow when you have to sit there and look at yourself and realize you have been allowing yourself to be made a fool of. That you believed because you wanted so badly to believe. Even though all the signs was there, all the red flags was there. It's not true, it's fake, it's made up, it's in your head. But we'll lie to ourselves in the mirror. And we'll convince ourselves that things exist that really don't exist. So she pulls the annulment, they file for the divorce. Then she finds out he's relocated to Miami, and then she gets an address. So this lady, because now she's calling him, she's texting him, she's emailing him, she's doing all this stuff to try and get his attention because he said we'll still be friends, but he won't talk to her. So now she's like nutso. She buys a ticket to Miami, flies down to Miami to confront him, and she says on the camera again, I came to Miami to try and get him back. What the hell? Why would the lies we tell ourselves? She was still, through all of that, telling herself that this can be fixed. This can be fixed. So they get there. Acrimony, right, fam? Right. So she gets there. He says, okay, you can come talk to me, but you're not coming in my house. So they have this exchange out on the street corner in front of his apartment. And hey, Kath, she ends up, so she's got this binder, you guys, that's like literally this thick with documentation of pictures, money that he spent, all this kind of stuff, phone conversations, all this stuff in this big ass binder to prove to him that he's been cheating or he never loved her. Well, look, he already knows how he felt about you the whole time. You the one been lying to yourself. You allowed him to tell you the lie, and I'm okay with that. Because we've all bought dreams, okay? We've all bought swampland in the desert. But when they show you who they are and you still know, see, and don't believe, that's on you. That's on you. So she ends up throwing the binder at him. He calls the police. Police come, and they're like, if you would have thrown oh my gosh. So the police come, they're like, if you would have thrown the binder inside the house, domestic assault. Plain and simple. But because you were outside on a public street, it's not, technically, they're not going to do anything. It's not a domestic. So she goes back to Ohio. Now she's boo-hooing. She's, you lied to me. You made a fool of me. So she refiles for the annulment. So refiles for the annulment. He gets served the new annulment papers. Now, mind you, this man ain't talked to this woman. He ain't returned not near one text. Ain't responded to an email. Nothing. He told her flat out the night he called the police, I never want to see you or talk to you again. Ever. It's over. I'm done with you. Now, that's what he told her. She goes back to Ohio, files the paperwork. Hey, Dexter. He gets served. Guess what? He calls her. Hey, can we talk? I just got your papers. Can we talk? She's like, hello? Yeah, we can talk. Okay, well, I'm coming to Ohio soon, and I want to sit down with you, and let's talk. Oh, hell no. You don't want to talk to me in Florida? And now you get served with your annulment papers. And so she agreed to it. She agreed to it. And she's still having this conversation with herself that says, because she was basically almost admitting, but I don't even think she recognized that she was using the annulment as a manipulation tool to try and get him to be in relation with her and to continue on the marriage. And it's like, how many more lies can you tell? At some point, you have to look in the mirror. You have to see the woman staring back at you. You have to be strong enough to look through your tears. Go ahead and cry. It's okay. But you have to force yourself to see through the BS. You have to force yourself to see the truth. You have to be willing to stand in that very, very, very painful truth. Hey, Sandra, you have to stand in the truth. You can't continue to tell the same lies to yourself and expect a different result, because now he's learned that as long as I give her attention, I can manipulate the situation. What he didn't quite figure out was I need to massage this long enough to get the divorce complete. So he's not quite the sharpest tool in the shed, but everything was it was an emotional reactionary response. So like I was saying earlier, don't fall in love. Stand straight up and choose a relationship that's right for your soul. Stand straight up. Choose. Don't fall. And don't be afraid to cut bait in the middle if it's not working. Like, at this point now, they've gone through this for nearly 3 years. So now to bring this whole message full circle back to our 30 books in 30 weeks message, what did it say? Yesterday is a canceled check. Can't do nothing about it. Tomorrow is a promissory note. Today is cash in hand. Invest it wisely. She wasted 3 years of emotional investments on a marriage that was doomed from the very, very beginning. She made investments, emotional, energy, time, financial investments in the lie that she told herself in the mirror every single day. When I tell you that no one on this planet can lie to you as well as you can lie to yourself, I'm going to tell you that from a place of truth and transparency, because I've been there. I've been there. So it's not from a place of judgment. It's from honest understanding that it's a real thing. Like we've all been there. We've all made crappy relationship choices. We've all made crappy business decisions. We've all made crappy financial decisions. But at some point, you have to be ready to unpack the crap and look in the mirror and tell yourself, you know what? I effed up. I effed up, and this time I effed up big. I lost. Take that L, but by all means, don't continue to take more L's because you refuse to look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to say, you know what? I gave somebody love that didn't deserve it. And even if they deserved it, they might not have been ready for it. You got to understand somebody else's capacity. Their 100% capacity might not even suffice to your 50% capacity. It doesn't mean they haven't loved you with everything they have. It just means they don't have enough to love you like you need to be loved, and that's okay. But look in the mirror and be honest about that. Be honest about where you are, how you got here, and then come up with a plan to move yourself through it. That's reality-based living. That's what that's about. It's not about pretending that shit didn't happen. No, we're going to address it. We're going to admit it, but we're not going to stay attached to it. You got to take the message and leave the mess. That's what has to happen. But nobody's ever going to lie to you better than you lie to yourself. I promise you that. So every time you look at somebody and say, hey, Joy, every time you look at somebody and you're like, ooh, that person just lied to me, I'm going to need you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, well, what lie did you tell to yourself that co-signed it? Because I can guarantee you, if you don't call it right then and there, then there's a lie somewhere in your psyche that you're telling yourself. You co-sign it. Doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong, but that's the fact. That's the reality of it. If you can sit there and tell yourself that so-and-so is lying to you, they're deceiving you, but you're not doing anything about it, at some point, that's on you. You got to own that. You can't expect them to hold over ownership of your choices and your decisions. You had a right to exit stage left at any given time. But if you don't, if you're like my girl in the show, And you continue to feed into and listen to the nonsense and the foolishness. And I'm going to keep the word that I really want to use. I'm going to keep this PG. But if you keep falling for it, don't be mad when they keep dishing it out. Don't do that. Part of it's on you. It's not all on the other person. It never is. And, you know, even with my domestic violence situation, that was a big thing I had to admit. Like, I had made choices leading up to that relationship. It does not make what he did right. It does not. But there were things along the way that I chose to ignore because certain things felt good. Certain things felt good to my ego. You know, there was a lot of things that when I looked in the mirror, I chose not to see. But I knew they were back there. I knew. It was like how many times an old girl in a TV show, she kept telling herself, like, I just feel like I've been used. I just feel like I've been used. Well, how many times you going to keep feeling like you've been used before you stop going back to the same fool that used you the first 5 times? At that point, it's on you to make a change. Make a choice. Stop lying to yourself in the mirror. Nobody's as good a liar about you than you. Because you know exactly what you want to hear. Hey, Miguel. Everybody know, you know what you want to hear. You know what's going to make you feel good. You know what's going to fulfill those voids. That's going to allow you to ignore the obvious. To allow you to deny the things that hurt and the things that are painful. And to have to say, I paid money to bring this man into the country to get his visa and to have him only walk out on me 2 weeks after the wedding. And not only that, but to have been in an attorney's office trying to find out, can I get out of it day of the wedding? Stop it. Stop it. And you knew that and you still married him. You knew that because when he left the attorney's office, he came home and he said to her, full disclosure, I just left the lawyer's office. This is what they told me. And she's all boo-hooing talking about, well, what did you decide? Oh, hell no. What am I going to decide? I'm going to decide if you were in the attorney's office the day of my wedding trying to figure out how you can get out of marrying me, baby. You ain't got to worry about it. That's a wrap. We're done. We're done. But I say that as a healed, whole, healthy woman. I don't say that from a standpoint of a broken woman because the broken woman is going to succumb to that temptation. It's going to be too hard for the broken woman to own up to the woman in the mirror and the lie she's been telling herself. But that's what reality-based living does for you. That's what learning to be in relation with reality allows you to do. It gives you the courage. It gives you the strength to say, you know what? I'm about to take a lump. But you know what? I would rather take one lump now than to keep getting beat over the head for the next 20 years. Or however long. By marrying someone who was in an attorney's office 2 hours before our wedding trying to get out of it. Baby, you ain't got to try too hard. It's a wrap. You're free to go. You are excused. And if you don't understand that at that point when he said, I'm going to say yes, because of what the attorney said, about there being no other way for him. If you don't go through with this, you're being deported. So now I'm coming to you and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna marry you. The hell you are? No, you're not. Not me. Better go get you another bride real quick in the next 2 hours. But that's because I've done the work. That's why when I talk to you guys about reality-based living, when I talk to you about reality-based success and recovery training, it's a lot of recovery that has to go on for that woman. And if I could reach out to her, I could help her so that she don't ever have to go through that again. But also, from the same standpoint, someone has to be ready to receive that message. You can't help everybody. You can't help people that don't want to help themselves. You can't tell the truth to somebody that's insistent upon telling themselves a lie. Because she had plenty of people around her telling her the truth. She had plenty of people, full disclosure, saying, you know what? Hey, sis. Hey, mom. This is what this looks like. This isn't cool. But she went through with it because what she was telling herself in the mirror what she wanted to believe was stronger than anything anybody else had to say. And that's how powerful the lies we tell ourselves in the mirror are. So I hope tonight that I've said something that maybe has clicked the switch, or if you know somebody who's going through something, you ain't got to call them out. Share the video. Hopefully they'll see it on your timeline. Hopefully they'll be able to resonate with the message, and something in them will say, you know what? I need to be honest. Cash in hand. Invest it wisely. This moment, this now, this lifetime is all I got. So if I keep taking L's and I keep denying the truth, so share the video out. Hopefully it's going to help someone to begin the healing process. If you have questions about reality-based living, reality-based coaching, let me know. Also, the link for my YouTube is in the comments, or in the header or whatever. I don't know what that thing is called. So catch up on the videos for 30 books in 30 weeks. We're on week 18. And again, this week is meditations for women who do too much. And today's message was totally on point about living in the present. And I'm going to say that to you one more time. Today's meditation, today is a cancel check. Tomorrow's a promissory note. Today is yesterday is a cancel check. Tomorrow is a promissory note. Today is cash in hand. Invest it wisely. Y'all have an amazing night, an amazing weekend. I'll be back tomorrow with another message for 30 books in 30 weeks. And as always, thanks for living life on Mars. Y'all talk to y'all later.